am G.V. Srinivasarao, Principal, Atomic Energy Central School, Kodakku. The present topic is structure of atom. In the previous module, we discussed about anode rays and their characteristics, Thomson's model of atom, Rutherford's alpha ray scattering experiment, and Rutherford's model and atomic spectrum. In the present third module, we discuss about the defects in Rutherford's model, characteristics of wave, black body radiation, photoelectric effect, hydrogen spectrum, and Bohr's model of atom. So, in this module, we discuss defects in Rutherford's model, black body radiation, photoelectric effect, line spectrum of hydrogen, and Bohr's model of atom. Now let us see the defects in Rutherford's model. According to Rutherford's model, electrons revolve round the nucleus like planets revolve round the sun. Therefore, it is also referred as a planetary model of atom. There exists an electrostatic force between negatively charged electrons and positively charged nucleus. Thus, this is nucleus and this is the electron. Now, as per the classical electromagnetic theory, if a charged particle revolves around a fixed point, it loses its energy continuously. So, as per the electromagnetic theory, here this is the electron. Electron carries a negative charge and it revolves around the nucleus, which is a fixed point. That means, as electron revolves around the nucleus, it is under acceleration. So, this electron revolving around the nucleus, according to the Maxwell's electromagnetic theory, it loses its electron, therefore falls under the attractive force of the nucleus. Thus, as it falls in the attractive force of the nucleus, it loses energy continuously. As electron loses energy continuously, it revolves like a spiral spring. So, it revolves like a spiral spring. And gradually it comes closer towards the nucleus and falls in the nucleus. So here, as per the electromagnetic theory, electron with negative charge, so negatively charged electron is under acceleration. Therefore, this accelerated charged particle, as it revolves around the fixed point, so it loses energy continuously. As it loses energy continuously, it falls within the attractive force of the nucleus, therefore loses energy and revolves like a spiral spring, and finally it falls into the nucleus. So if it falls into the nucleus, atom should collapse. That means atom should be destroyed. But strictly speaking, atom is not destroyed. The best example is the universe is existing, thus atom is not destroyed. So that means atom is stable. Rutherford's model could not explain the stability of atom. According to Newton's corpuscular theory of matter, light rays are made up of corpuscles, that is material particles. So this corpuscular theory could successfully explain the phenomenon of reflection and refraction. Refraction. Corpuscular theory of Newton could explain the phenomenon of reflection as well as refraction. Whereas it could not explain the phenomenon of interference and diffraction. The wave nature, that is electromagnetic theory of wave radiation, could explain the phenomenon of interference and diffraction. Interference and diffraction. So, electromagnetic theory could explain the phenomenon of interference and diffraction. Now, let us see the wave nature of electromagnetic waves. See here in the diagram, this is the direction of the wave. An electromagnetic wave is the combination of both the fields, that is electric field as well as magnetic field. So here the electric field is perpendicular to the direction of the wave, that is in a vertical plane, whereas the magnetic field is in a horizontal plane. So this is electric field, and whereas this is a magnetic field. The shaded portion represents magnetic field. Now, in this is the wave. So here, this is we call it as a crest, and this is trough. So, in both the fields, electric field and magnetic field, this is a crest and this is a trough, whereas in the magnetic field, this is crest and this is a trough. Now, let us see the characteristics of electromagnetic radiation. Characteristics of electromagnetic radiation. Electromagnetic wave. 1. Wavelength. Wavelength denoted by lambda. Frequency is denoted by nu. Amplitude, wave number nu bar, and velocity is denoted by c, that is small. Now let us discuss about each and every these characteristics. Wavelength. What is wavelength? The distance between two successive troughs or two successive crests. Now if we see this example here, this is a crest and immediate crest is this one. So these two are referred as a successive crest, or these two are referred as a successive crest, and these two, this one and here, this is a successive trough. The distance between two successive crests or two successive troughs is known as wavelength. So for wavelength here it is, this is one trough and this is another trough. The distance between these 2 points, this is referred as lambda. So the distance between two successive troughs or two successive troughs, this is wavelength, and wavelength is denoted by the letter lambda. Now the unit of wavelength is meter or nanometer or angstrom unit. 1 angstrom unit equal to 10 to the power minus 10 centimeter. 1 nanometer equal to 10 to the power minus 9. This is 10 to the power minus 10 meter, whereas the nanometer equal to 10 to the power minus 9 meter. It can be expressed in terms of centimeters also. 1 angstrom unit equal to 10 to the power minus 8 centimeter is equal to 10 to the power minus 10 meters, or 1 nanometer equal to 10 to the power minus 7 centimeters is also equal to 10 to the power minus 9 meter. So this is about wavelength. Now let us discuss about the frequency. Frequency is denoted by the letter nu. Frequency is the number of waves that pass through a particular point in 1 second. So here this is 1 crest and one trough together is referred as one wave. Suppose if we take a point here, this point, how many waves can pass through this point in 1 second? So the number of waves that pass through a particular point in 1 second, that is unit time, is known as frequency. So the unit of frequency is second inverse. For example, if 1000 waves pass through a particular point in 1 second, therefore it is represented as 1000 per second. So that is frequency. Now let us see the amplitude. The amplitude means it is the highest point of the trough, crest or deepest point of the trough. Highest point of crest or deepest point of trough is known as amplitude. If the amplitude is higher, generally wavelength is smaller. Higher the amplitude, lower is the wavelength, and higher is the amplitude, more is the intensity of the wave. Let me see here, let us take this example. So here, this is amplitude in this manner. See here, amplitude is more, so automatically the wavelength decreases. So amplitude means the maximum height of the crest or deepest point of the trough is nothing but amplitude. Now let us see the number of waves. Number of waves means this is wave number. Wave number is nothing but the number of waves that is spread per unit length. That means number of waves per centimeter or number of waves per meter is known as wave number. So wave number nu bar is obtained by the reciprocal of lambda. That means nu bar equal to 1 by lambda. So wave number means nothing but number of waves that spread per unit length. Now finally we discuss about the velocity. Velocity c equal to nu lambda. What is nu? Frequency. Frequency means number of waves that pass through a particular point per second. So into wavelength. So number of velocity of the wave equal to frequency into wavelength. So this is meter per second or centimeter per second. So thus we discussed about the characteristics of electromagnetic radiation, that is wavelength lambda, frequency nu, amplitude, wave number nu bar, and velocity c. Now let us discuss a numerical based on this wave characteristics. Now the problem is yellow light emitted from the sodium lamp has a wavelength of 580 nanometer. Calculate the frequency and wave number of yellow light. Yellow light has wavelength lambda equal to 580 nanometer. Now what we have to find? Frequency we have to find. Frequency nu equal to, we have to find wave number nu bar we have to find. So we know that nu bar equal to 1 by lambda. So if we take the reciprocal of this lambda, we get the wave. Now velocity of light equal to 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. If the velocity or speed of the radiation is not given, it is understood that we have to take the velocity or speed of the light as 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Now wavelength is lambda equal to 580 nanometer. Say here, See the units here. Velocity is in meter per second, whereas the wavelength is in nanometer. Therefore, this nanometer should be converted into meter. 1 nanometer equal to how many meters? 1 nanometer equal to 10 to the power minus 9 meter. Therefore, this 580 nanometer equal to 580 into 10 to the power minus 9 meter. Now, recollect the formula for velocity of light. So, velocity of light c equal to nu lambda. C equal to nu lambda. What is c here? 3 into 10 to the power minus 8 meter per second equal to nu, that is frequency into wavelength 580 into 10 to the power minus 9 meter. So meter can be cancelled on either side. Therefore, nu equal to frequency equal to 3 into 10 to the power 8, 3 into 10 to the power 8 by 580 into 10 to the power minus 9 second inverse. So this can be written as 3 by 580 into 10 to the power 8. This becomes plus 9 when it is brought to the numerator. Therefore, this becomes 3 by 580 into 10 to the power 17. So when we calculate this value, it is obtained as 0.005172 into 10 to the power 17 per second. So to express this number in scientific method, shift this decimal to right side by 3 places. Therefore, this can be written as 5.172 into 10 to the power. As we shifted 3 digits, the 10th power is minimized by 3. Therefore, this becomes 5.172 into 10 to the power 14 per second. So this is frequency. So the frequency of yellow light is 5.172 into 10 to the power 14. Now, nu bar equal to 1 by lambda. What is this? 1 by, what is the lambda? Lambda means, so here again we have to take this one. What is this? 580 into 10 to the power minus 9. 580 into 10 to the power minus 9. This becomes 1 by 580 into 10 to the power 9 per meter. That means so many waves spread in 1 meter distance. Now let us discuss about atomic number and mass number. Atomic number. Atomic number is divided by Z. Number of protons present in the nucleus of an atom of an element, or number of electrons that revolve around the nucleus is referred as atomic number. Let us take an example of hydrogen. Hydrogen, symbol H, atomic number 1, which indicates it has 1 proton and 1 electron. 1 proton and 1 electron. So here this is a nucleus, 1 proton, and around which there is 1 electron. So atomic number is nothing but the number of protons present in the nucleus of an atom of an element, or it is the number of electrons that revolve around the nucleus. So that is atomic number. Now let us take another example, helium. Helium symbol He2, which indicates this is the atomic number. Atomic number. So what does it indicate? Number of protons present in the nucleus, of helium atom is 2. Number of electrons is also 2. Therefore here it is shown as nucleus of helium atom 2 protons and here 2 electrons. So that is atomic number. Now let us say mass number. Mass number. Mass number is denoted by the letter A. Mass number means total number of protons and neutrons present in the nucleus of an atom. So this is total number of protons and neutrons. Total number of protons and neutrons. That is mass number. Right. Now let us take an example. Helium. Helium 2, 4. This is mass number and this is atomic number. Atomic number. Now what happens, already we discussed here, atomic number of helium is 2, that it has 2 protons and 2 electrons. Right. Therefore mass number of helium is, mass number of helium is 4. In that, number of protons is 2. Therefore number of neutrons equal to 4 minus 2. So helium, nucleus of helium atom has 2 neutrons. So it can be represented in this way: 2 protons, 2 neutrons, and around the nucleus there are 2 electrons. So this is a helium atom. Let us take another example as sodium. Sodium Na. So sodium atomic number 11, mass number 23. So what does it mean? Number of protons is 11, as atomic number is 11. Number of electrons is 11. Number of neutrons equal to mass number A minus atomic number Z. Mass number is 23 here, atomic number 11. So 23 minus 11, 12. So nucleus of sodium atom has 12 neutrons, 11 protons, and of course around the nucleus there are 11 electrons. Let us see the limitations of wave theory. Wave nature of electromagnetic radiation or wave theory of electromagnetic radiation could explain the phenomena of interference and diffraction, whereas it could not explain the certain properties. That is, wave theory could not explain the black body, that is the nature of emission of radiation from hot bodies. Black body radiation, and it could not explain the photoelectric effect, that is the ejection of electrons when an incident radiation on a metal surface. Photoelectric effect. And variation of heat capacity of solids as a function of temperature. So variation of heat capacity. And finally spectral lines of atoms with special reference to hydrogen atom. With special reference to hydrogen atom. So these 4 points could not be explained by wave theory. Now let us see the black body radiation. What is a black body? A black body is a perfect absorber and a perfect radiator. Means that whatever the radiation falls on the body, all that energy is absorbed by such a body, and it radiates all the energy it has. Such a body is known as a black body. Strictly speaking, any body is not a black body, but carbon black behaves a black body to maximum extent. Now, hot objects emit electromagnetic radiations with a wide range of wavelengths. At high temperature, the radiation is in the visible region of the spectrum. As the temperature increases, most of the radiation of short wavelength is generated. If an iron ball is heated at high temperature, it reaches to dull red. As the temperature goes on increasing, it becomes bright red and then becomes white, and finally it reaches to blue. So these are the changes take place as the temperature increases. Thus, intensities of radiations of different wavelengths emitted by hot body depending on its temperature. When the surface of an object is irradiated, a part of it is absorbed, a part of it is reflected, and a part of it is transmitted. As discussed earlier, a black body is a perfect absorber and a perfect radiator. So the amount of light emitted from a black body and its spectral distribution depends on the temperature. At a given temperature, intensity of radiation increases with increase of wavelength. See here, in this graph, wavelength is shown on x-axis and intensity is shown on y-axis. In this graph, wavelength is shown on x-axis and intensity is shown on y-axis. At a given temperature, intensity of radiation increases with increase in wavelength, reaches a maximum value at a given wavelength, and then starts decreasing with a further increase in wavelength. If the temperature increases, the maximum of the curve shifts to shorter wavelength. At a still higher temperature, as the wavelength increases, intensity increases. So, as the temperature is going on increasing, the intensity of the radiation increases. Here, the maxima reaches at another temperature or higher temperature, the maximum will be greater. That means intensity of the radiation will be higher. So, several attempts were made to predict the intensity of radiation as a function of wavelength, but the results of this experiment could not be explained satisfactorily on the basis of the wave theory of light. Max Planck, a German physicist, proposed the emission and absorption of radiation arises from oscillators, that is, atoms of the walls of the black body. Their frequency of oscillation is changed by interaction of oscillators of electromagnetic radiation. He suggested that atoms and molecules could emit or absorb in discrete quantities instead of continuously. That means in every stage, certain amount of energy is absorbed or radiated. He gave a name for such a discrete quantity of energy as quantum. Thus, he proposed the quantum theory of radiation. So, let us see Max Planck quantum theory. Max Planck quantum. The important points of this Max Planck's quantum theory: energy is absorbed or radiated by any body in a discontinuous manner. That means certain amount of energy is absorbed in the first stage and certain amount of energy is absorbed in the second stage. So, energy is absorbed or radiated in a discontinuous manner. Now, the energy absorbed or radiated is proportional to the frequency of the radiation. So, energy absorbed or radiated is proportional to the frequency of radiation. That is, frequency of radiation is proportional to nu or E equal to h nu, where h is the Planck's constant. H is the proportionality constant known as Planck's constant. The value of h equal to 6.626 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule second. A body can emit or absorb the energy in integral multiple of quantum. That is, a body can emit energy emitted or absorbed is equal to n h nu. H nu is nothing but one quantum, so it can emit one quantum of energy or two quantum of energy or three quantum of energy. So where n equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on. Now let us discuss about the photoelectric effect.
In the diagram shown here, in a vacuum chamber, two metallic plates are arranged on either side and they are connected to the terminals of a battery in which an ammeter is connected. A beam of light strikes the cathode metal surface. When the beam of light strikes here, immediately electrons are produced without any time lag, and these electrons travel towards the anode, and the deflection will be shown here in ammeter.
So, as radiation falls on the metal surface, ejection of electrons takes place. Therefore, the phenomenon of ejection of electrons from a metal surface soon after the incident radiation falls on it is known as a photoelectric effect. Right, and such electrons are called photoelectrons. Now let us see certain points in this photoelectric effect. The first one is, whenever the radiation falls on the metal surface, immediately electrons are ejected. That means there is no time gap between the incidence of the radiation and the ejection of the electrons. So, ejection of electrons takes place immediately. Now, the number of electrons ejected is proportional to the intensity of the radiation. So, number of electrons ejected is proportional to the intensity of radiation. Intensity of the radiation. Intensity means nothing but energy of the radiation. For each metal, for the ejection of electrons, certain intensity is required. If the intensity is less, photoelectric effect does not take place. That means, for every metal, a certain minimum energy is required. A radiation of certain minimum energy is required for the ejection of photoelectrons from such metal surface, and such an intensity is known as threshold energy, or the frequency associated with such energy is known as threshold frequency. So, threshold frequency. So, the frequency of radiation with which the photoelectric effect takes place is known as threshold frequency. For different metals, the threshold frequency differs. So, for two metals, the threshold frequency is not same. Einstein was able to explain the photoelectric effect by using Planck's quantum theory. So when a beam of light strikes the metal surface, that is beam of light means beam of photons. Beam of photons. A beam of photons strikes the metal surface, electrons are ejected, that is photoelectric effect takes place. If the photon has sufficient energy, then photoelectric effect takes place. If the photon does not have sufficient energy, then photoelectric effect does not take place. Right? Suppose if the photon has energy which is exactly sufficient to the ejection of electron, such an energy is known as work function, photoelectric work function. Photoelectric work function, that is E equal to h nu. Nu is the threshold frequency here. Suppose if the photon has more energy than photoelectric work function, then what will happen? So with this amount of energy, electron ejects, that is photoelectric effect takes place, and the leftover energy is given to the electron, therefore the electron goes with a certain kinetic energy. That means the excess energy over and above the photoelectric work function converts as kinetic energy of electron. That means if intensity of radiation or energy of radiation, that is E is greater than E naught. E naught is the photoelectric work function and E is the energy of radiation. Then E equal to E naught plus h nu. This is leftover energy. So this energy, this converts into kinetic energy, Ke. Therefore, this can be written as E equal to h nu naught plus 1 by 2 mv square. That is kinetic energy of the electron. Now let us discuss hydrogen spectrum. If a sample of hydrogen gas is supplied with certain amount of energy, the electron present in different atoms of hydrogen excites, that is, it takes energy and goes to higher energy levels. And the electron in a higher energy level is unstable, therefore it comes down. When it comes down, the electron releases energy, and the energy is in the form of a radiation of a particular wavelength, and such radiation is observed on a photographic film. Thus a spectral line is obtained. The spectral lines in hydrogen, in the case of hydrogen, are observed in different series, that is a series of spectral lines are obtained. Now the first series of spectral lines observed by a scientist known as Balmer in 1885 in the visible region. In Balmer series, electron comes from higher level to second level. So this series is observed in visible region. The other series of spectral lines are Lyman series. Lyman series of spectral lines is obtained when electron comes from higher levels to the first level. That is, Lyman series observed in the UV region. Whereas Faser series of spectral lines obtained when electrons comes from higher level to third level. Bracket series are obtained when electron comes from higher level to fourth level, and Fund series of spectral lines obtained when electron comes from higher level to fifth level. Keep the point that Faser series, bracket series and Fund series, these three series of spectral lines are observed in IR region. Balmer could experimentally show that the wavelength or wave number of these spectral lines as reciprocal of wavelength equal to wave number equal to 109677 into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. n1 is the lower energy level and n2 is the higher energy level. So this is centimeter nu bar, this is centimeter inverse. So the wave number of this series is given in this formula, and this constant number 109677 centimeter inverse is referred as Rydberg constant. Rydberg constant. This is for the Balmer series. So in the Balmer series, what is the first level? In Balmer series, electron jumps from higher level to second level. Therefore, instead of F1 we can keep 2. So 1 by 2 square minus 1 by n2 square or n square. Whereas Rydberg showed that this can be used. This formula can be used for the explaining of other series of spectral lines also. So we can show this in a tabular form. Series, lower level, higher level, whereas region. In which region we get? So Lyman series, n equal to 1, here n equal to 2, 3 and so on. This is UV region. Balmer series, n equal to 2, here the higher level is n equal to 3, 4 and so on. This is a visible region. Bracket series, Poisson series, n equal to 3, here n equal to 4, 5, 6 and so on. This is IR. Bracket series, n equal to 4, n equal to 5, 6 and so on. This is also IR. Whereas fund series, n equal to 5, n equal to 6, 7, 8 and so on. This is also IR reason.
Bohr's model of atom. Niels Bohr in 1913 explained quantitatively the general features of the structure of hydrogen atom and its spectrum by using Planck's concept of quantization of energy. Electron in the hydrogen atom can move around the nucleus in a circular path of fixed energy and radius called orbit. Electrons revolving in the orbit has a definite energy, which means that the orbit is associated with energy. Hence, such orbits are called energy levels. These orbits are concentrically arranged around the nucleus. These orbits and energy levels are numbered as 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on, and named as K, L, M, N and so on. Energy of electron in different levels is quantized or calculated. Thus, principal quantum number was proposed by Niels Bohr. Only those orbits are permitted in which the angular momentum of electron is whole number multiple of h by 2 pi, where h is the Planck's constant. In other words, the angular momentum is quantized. Angular momentum of electron is given by mvr equal to nh by 2 pi. M is the mass of the electron, v is its velocity, and r is the radius of the orbit in which the electron is revolving. N is the number of orbits from the nucleus and h is the Planck's constant. The energy of electron in the orbit does not change with time. That means as long as the electron revolves in its own orbit, it does not change. But when it changes from one level to another level, energy change takes place. Thus, these orbits are called as stationary orbits, as the energy of a particular orbit does not change. Energy of orbits increase as it moves farther from the nucleus. When electron moves from lower energy level to higher energy level, energy is absorbed by electron, and when it moves from higher level to lower level, energy is radiated. Energy exchange takes place in a discrete manner. If electron jumps from lower energy level to higher energy level, it absorbs energy, and when it jumps from higher level to lower level, it radiates energy. And this radiation is of a particular wavelength. The frequency of radiation absorbed or emitted when transition occurs between two stationary states that differ in energy by nu equal to delta E by H is equal to E2 minus E1, that is energy of second level minus energy of first level by H, where E1 and E2 are the energies of lower and higher energy states. This is referred as Bohr's frequency rule. Success of Bohr's model. According to Bohr's model, electron in an orbit cannot lose energy. Electron loses energy only when it comes from higher energy level to lower energy level. If no lower energy level is vacant, then electron revolves in the same orbit, and hence it explains the stability of atom. Success of Bohr's model. Bohr's model helped in calculating the energy of electron in a particular orbit and also the size, that is radius of the orbit. On the basis of Bohr's model, it is possible to derive a mathematical relation for energy of an electron in the nth orbit of hydrogen. The expression is En, that is energy in the nth orbit, is equal to minus k square 2 pi square m e to the power 4 z square by n square h square, where m is the mass of the electron, 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 kilogram. E is the charge of electron, minus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulombs. H is the Planck's constant, it is 6.626 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule second. K is the Coulomb's constant, and its value is 9.0 into 10 to the power 9 joule meter coulomb minus 2. Z, that is atomic number for hydrogen, is 1, and pi is the constant, 22 by 7. Substituting all these values, we get energy of electron in nth level as minus 2.178 into 10 to the power minus 18 by n square joule per atom, or it is equal to 13.595 by n square electron volt per atom, or it is equal to 1312 by n square kilojoule per mole. Similarly, Bohr was able to derive the relation for radius of an orbit in a hydrogen atom. Radius of nth orbit Rn equal to n square h square by 4 pi k m z e square. If all the values are substituted in the above relation, we get Rn equal to 0.529 n square by z angstrom units is equal to 52.9 n square by z picometer. For a hydrogen atom, z equal to 1, and for He plus z is 2, and for Li2 plus z is 3. It is possible to calculate the velocity of electron moving in the nth orbit as Vn equal to 2 pi k z e square by nh, which is equal to 2.18 into 10 to the power 6 z by n meter per second. Bohr's model could explain the atomic spectrum of hydrogen. According to Bohr, electron in an atom has certain definite energy levels. When electron is in lowest possible energy level, then it does not release energy, and such level is called ground state. When electron is supplied energy, then it goes to the higher energy level, and in such level it is unstable. It is called excited state. Since electron is in excited state and it is unstable, it de-excites, that is, comes back to its original level, and hence energy releases. It gives the energy in the form of a quantum equal to the difference between those two levels, and the frequency is given by delta E equal to E2 minus E1 equal to h nu. As electron jumps from one level to another in different stages, releasing energy in every stage. That's why hydrogen spectrum has discrete lines. In the next module, let us learn the defects in Bohr's model of atom, dual nature of matter, Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, quantum mechanical model, and quantum numbers. Thank you.